Well, hello everybody. I'm Jennifer Ziegler.
And I'm Chris Barton, and we both write books for young readers, and we love talking with other authors of books for young readers about the dedications in their books.
And that's what this one's dedicated to, is all about. And we are here in McAllen, Texas at the South Texas Book Festival. And joining us is the incredible Charlton-Trujillo, who is here to talk about the book LUPE LOPEZ, Rockstar Rules. Is it Rockstar Rules or Rockstar Rules?
I think it's Rockstar Rules. I think you have to put the full emphasis there.
Okay. Well, welcome. Would you mind kicking us off by reading aloud the dedication?
Absolutely.
Do you remember the dedication?
Of course I do. I mean, I wrote it, didn't I? With better glasses. It says, to Eva Goins and Cindy Vela, who celebrate the rock star in all of their students.
So why is this particular book dedicated to the people it's dedicated to?
Right. So Eva Goins is a teacher in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who I met when she was at a different event, came up to me, said, would you please come to our school? And it was really kind of at the last minute. But what she did was, she says, we have saved box tops, you know, like from cereals and things, and we can pay you with box tops. And I'm thinking at first, literal, like they're going to hand me the box tops. And I'm like, that's new. But no, and so anyway, she and her fellow colleague Helen Reed came up to me, and they were just so enthusiastic, and it just felt moved. And so I went to this school, and it was one of the best school visits I have ever had in my life. I came in there, and it was just wall to ceiling of, you know, quotes that I had put into the world, things about books, things about life, things about humanity that were infused. And I thought to myself, who are these magical people who did it in a matter of days?
Right.
And so it was really, they brought the community in to be part of it. And it was really a beautiful experience. And I watched how Ava specifically was with her young people and the way she engaged with them. There is so much compassion and recognizing who they are beyond this part here where we get stuck.
Right.
And I just thought to myself, who is this magical unicorn in the world? And there was one young man that's important, because she told me there was one young man who was supposed to come to this special breakfast with me. And he'd gotten in trouble, and he was in in-school suspension, so he couldn't be there. And I said, well, where is he? And as to take me to him. And so I went in, and she took me to the in-school suspension. And I sat with him and said, what are you doing in here? Why are you in here? You're supposed to be in there eating tacos with me. And we just had a conversation. He's like, I don't know, and this and that. And that she could create space for me to have that moment for him. And so it's like, and then over time, I would see her at different festivals and different events, and that connection stayed. And I would check in, how's your kids doing? How are the students doing? So on and so on and so on. And what I realized is that this book is about the ways in which there's the obvious way that Lupe's a rock star in her mind, that she sees herself that way. But the ways that all of us can be rock stars and how we all shine in our own way. And it's not always front and center. Sometimes it's a little bit more behind. And I thought about her specifically at first, and I thought, well, absolutely. This is one of the people I have to dedicate this to. And the other was Cindy Vela, who works down in South Texas. She's a librarian, very much on social media, very engaged with her students, very present in a very similar way. And I just kept thinking, I was like, these people aren't the closest, you know, my closest friends.
Right.
But sometimes your family comes in a way you don't expect, and the people in your life and your friends. And I thought, this book belongs to them, because they give everything to the young people.
I love that. I love that. That what you described is, in a way, they were giving you a rock star treatment.
Yes.
That you saw the rock star in them, that they are the rock star.
They are, and that's the thing. They are. They're the ones who shine. And so the dedication just felt perfect. It needed to belong to them, you know?
And you knew that from the beginning.
From the beginning. And it was just one of those moments where I think to myself, every book I read, I'm like, what if it's the last one?
Yeah.
Right? And you want to make every dedication count. Every one of them. And I thought, if this is the last one, then this is where it belongs, you know? So yeah.
I hope it's not the last one.
Well, no, it's not actually, because there's a sequel to LUPE LOPEZ coming out.
So I was reading your bio here, and I was wondering, when you were a kindergartner, strutting into the classroom with your aviator sunglasses and your pencil drumsticks and dreams of drumming for Kiss.
It's true.
Did you have a teacher who saw the rock star in you?
I think so. I mean, after I got in trouble. Yeah, my kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Parkman, she definitely recognized that, I mean, I did have the KISS lunchbox, I mean, I was projecting all of it. And so I think she recognized that was in me. It's my journey was not as same as Lupe's, obviously. Yeah. She gets to be seen and see herself in a way a lot quicker. And for me, that journey was longer. Right. But I think what's really great is then I can almost rewrite part of that time, with Lupe. And now teachers, when they share it with their kids, not only do they get to share this story, but maybe it gives them a moment to take a second to think about that kid who's maybe a little different, right? And what they expect, and to recognize the way that kid shines, but maybe it's not as obvious. Right. Maybe plant a seed. Right. Yeah. So I like that that's an opportunity.
I do too. How did Ava and Cindy find out that this book was dedicated to them?
Cindy found out on pub day. I said, "Hey, by the way, let me tell you," and she's like, "What? What is this?" It was total, she was startled. Whereas Ava had a pretty intense health scare, and I was debating, does she think I just did this out of pity? Do I tell her now? Do I wait? And so I sent her a message and said, "Hey, listen, I know you got a lot going on. I just want to let you know that I've dedicated this book to you, and I dedicated it before I knew you were having this health scare. I don't want you to think it's something else." And she's like, "I am sobbing." She's just sobbing tears. And, because sometimes those people who do so much, they don't see how special they are, right? And so it was a wonderful gift to give,
And do Ava and Cindy know each other?
Not to my knowledge, no, they don't.
They're dedication sisters now, or
they
dedication
are.
cousins.
Yes, I mean, they're immortalized forever in the world of Lupe, So no, I don't believe they know each other, but yeah, I mean, because of the way they move through the world and interact with young people, it's like whether they're directly connected or not, in real time, the way they connect with young people is how they know each other. You know what I mean? When you put that kind of goodness in the world, And so, yeah.
Well, is there anything else you want to make sure that people know about the dedication or about the book in general?
About the book in general, I think if I wanted people to know something, it's to really take a moment when you're with young people, especially the ones that seem kind of hard, whatever that means for you, and see that in every one of them there is a light that is trying to shine. Yeah. And it may not always be that kid who's the most popular, the most athletic, the biggest talker, or, right up in the front. Sometimes it's that kid is a little further back, and that kid has so much to say. And the other night I was at a library in Mercedes, Texas, and named after Hector P. Garcia, Dr. Hector P. Garcia, who is the school. Oh, yeah. And this little girl, she's pre-K, and she was, and there was a couple of older kids and doing story time. And we were talking, engaging them, asking about story. And I'd ask her something, and she would thrust her tongue forward a bit, and she was trying so hard to say her story. It was sitting right here, but she couldn't pull it forward. And so I thought to myself, that kid might get lost sometimes. And, whether it's my book or your book, but take a moment to find how to reach in and help that kid be heard, Yeah. And I think that's what it's really about, is how do we give them the space to be heard, Yeah. And by the end, though, I did get her to talk.
Fantastic.
Oh, I kneeled next to her, and I just asked her a couple questions, and she was able to just quietly push it through. And I gave her my copy of Lupe, and I said, still, the smallest voice can be the loudest heart. Don't be afraid,
And now you've gone and made Jenny cry.
I made you cry. Jenny, don't cry.
It's a good cry.
It's not an episode of This Was Dedicated to Jenny Hasn't Cried.
Oh, okay.
Check.
So this is it. Okay.